Hey guys, just wanted to bring you a little short video. I have a new spinner that just came in the mail, and it's another one of those that came from the trade show in China, and it was a pretty tough one to get. These are all the rage now apparently because it's one of the newest 2017 models, and they have figured out how to take these torque bar style spinners and coat them with some type of paint. It's very smooth. You cannot feel paint on it. It's I guess electroplating maybe, or is it maybe that powdered paint they put on cars and bond it to the metal somehow. But anyway, just want to show you this one. It's one of those, another one of those where every paint job is going to be different. So it'll be semi-custom without the full custom price. And you see the back on here, how the paint has changed a bit, so the patterns are going to be different. And I noticed first off on this one a couple of things. Maybe I can get the thing in focus for a change, but I'm not going to bring any closer to that because it won't go in focus. But if you can see, those are black ceramic bearings, and this one does not have a bearing guide, which this will be my first spinner where I didn't have a bearing guide. And the other thing I noticed about this one is, and let me show you. You notice how these two over here will spin easily on the surface of the table. These are all have standoffs that are, the caps stand off enough that you can spin them on the tabletop. And I thought this one was going to be the same, but it's not. This one, the caps are a little bit shorter, and I'm fighting to get that thing started. This one, it feels like it's all aluminum. I'm pretty sure this is all aluminum construction because it does feel quite a bit lighter than the other ones, including these, which are brass bodies with aluminum inserts. So let me get that all set up, and you can see, put it on the table here, and see, it will not spin. It slides. But the cool thing is, let me get my phone straightened back up here because I want to do my little timer thingy. Be a good look at the sides of it. The one thing I noticed about it was the really cool sound it makes. So I'm going to shut up for a second and spin this thing, and you can hear the sound it makes. So it almost sounds like kind of a cicada sound, the kind of sound I hear of the insects on a lot of Japanese anime manga type animations, cartoons. I call them cartoons, but I'm sure that the people who watch them take them much more seriously and would call it blasphemy to call them a cartoon. They're really, to me, they're a lot of artwork, but it's hard to not refer to them as cartoons growing up watching cartoons. So I'll give you a little bit more shot of that and the strobe effect it has, how the colors reflect off of it. Now I do have two more of these coming. Hopefully they will get here. The other two are much harder to get than this one. Purple seems to be the most popular, so it's the most ubiquitous. Big word for me there, ubiquitous. So let me do a little spin test. Of course I can't do it on tabletop because it won't spin on tabletop. So I'll try to give you a general idea of how long it will spin. And this is actually my first time to actually time it, so we'll be in this together. And I'm hoping this thing will spin for at least a minute. It's very lightweight. This thing, I need to grab my my kitchen scale. I'll show you how light it is, and I'll compare it to the brass ones. And again, this one is much smaller than your standard plastic tri-spinner. So this would make it a very good one for just everyday carry. And you can probably fidget with it in your pocket because it is the same size as the rest of them. If you don't like a heavy brass spinner or a heavy stainless or a heavy copper spinners, this aluminum may be the one you may like. Some people don't like the smell of copper on their hands. I've never noticed a smell to copper, but that's a possibility. I never knew there were so many different preferences for spinners, or people who were allergic to metals or didn't like metals, didn't like the smell, didn't like the color. So I'm learning quite a bit about spinners in general. So here we go. It's a little over a minute for what I would consider my standard spin on a spinner. See, And just to be conservative, we can say 1 minute, and let's call it 1 minute 13, because I actually had like a half a second between the time I spun it at the very beginning and the time I touched the screen there, because it is a little bit difficult. So hang on just a second, let me pause the video, and I'm going to go get my scale, and we'll weigh this sucker up. Alrighty, I'm back, got my scale, let me get it in camera here. Oh, and let me show you this. This is how it came packaged, in just a generic metal tin. That's typical from what I've found for display models, and this was a display model. And often you can get display models for cheap, because these were meant to, you know, just get the attention to the spinners at a trade show, and the factory has not stamped their labels on them yet, and they have no branding at all. So they're willing to sell those at a discount because they're the full spinner. You know, they're complete, you know, I guess they have the same type of construction standards as the regular spinner, because they did want to, you know, demonstrate their product to the customers. It's just they didn't have time to either complete the packaging, or they didn't really worry about it, because they were worried more about getting this to the customer and getting it in their hands more than the packaging. That'll come later most likely. So let me get this thing going, and I got to change the units down to ounces. I'm gonna stick with ounces. This thing will do grams, but since it's American units is ounces instead of grams, I'm going to stick with ounces. 1.5 ounces. Let's see if I can switch it. And that is 30 grams. And let's pull that off. Let it zero out. Here is the, I don't know, I guess somebody called this a TIE fighter. It looks sort of like a TIE fighter. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a stretch, but if you like TIE fighters, that's pretty cool. 58 grams, so that one's 28 grams heavier, which is 2.05 ounces. And let's try the big one here. This one I think is the heaviest. It feels the heaviest. It's got the most material on it with these big lobes. So this one, if you like a heavy one, this is a heavy spinner. I still think this one spins the longest. This one comes in like second. It's engineered pretty well. And let's see, 71 grams. So yep, that one is quite a bit heavier. This one's almost 3 times the weight of this one. I've already forgot what the weight of this one was, but I'm pretty sure it was around 3 times. Let's go to the ounces setting. So we're looking at 2.5 ounces, almost. Well, I would say almost, but it actually is 2.5 ounces. And that can be quite a bit of weight for you if you're not used to carrying a lot of keys in your pocket or a lot of change. I'm used to carrying around, you know, a couple bucks worth of change sometimes, and I don't even notice it. But there are a lot of people who like their pockets to be very light. They don't like carrying stuff around. It's just one of the things I'm learning about different people and how they like their spinners and what they like and what they don't like. So yeah, this one, and oh, I forgot to do this one. Let me weigh this one out right quick. These should be all the same. 1.95. So let me check again. I've already forgotten what this was. So yeah, so they're coming in pretty close. This was about 1/10 of an ounce heavier. 1.95. Oop, I'm getting ahead of myself there. 55 grams. So it looks like they're coming in about like this. This is the heaviest at 2.5. This one comes in second. Oops, sorry about that. Bumped the camera. This one is third. And that one is fourth. Which is kind of weird that this one's the longest spinning. This one's the second. This one's actually the fourth. And this one is the third when it comes to spin time. But this one is not a tabletop spinner. So if you like tabletop spinners, this one definitely isn't for you. It's more of a fidget spinner, and it's also more for flash and style. If you like flash and style, I don't think you can get much flashier than maybe stainless steel or chrome than that. That's going to express your personality, that's for sure. And they don't come in, the patterns come different every time. I don't know what the process is, but they have figured out a way to change these up. So that's about it for now. I'll talk to you later.